breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty. Mornings on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Wait.
Well, a tragic situation. 4 people losing their lives in Georgia to a shooting. And, of course, the left never lets a tragic situation go unexploited. Now, Kamala has come out saying we have to have this gun violence under control. Tom Gresham, host of Gun Talk, is on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker hotline. Tom, how worried are you if she were to get elected that they're going to make a concerted effort to come after our guns?
Oh, I'm not worried at all. I know it's a 100% certainty. She's always said that she wanted to ban guns. He's always said he wanted to ban guns. You know, they just parrot the gun ban lobby's talking points, and it really doesn't matter what the event is, school shooting or whatever it is. They bring up the same things whether or not they would have anything to do with the event, like this horrible shooting in Georgia. They just bring out their litany of gun ban efforts and calls for restrictions. I mean, what do we know about this? We know that what they're doing isn't working. We know that there was a gun-free zone. Those never work. All school shootings are in gun-free zones. We also know the good guy with a gun showed up and made it stop. It doesn't really matter if the good guy with a gun is wearing a uniform or not, or if it's a man or a woman. When a good guy with a gun shows up, the murders always stop.
Mm-hmm.
You made a point. It's been a year or two, and it actually, as I was getting dressed this morning, I'm listening to some of the comments that they're saying while I was getting ready, and I thought, this pibs up Gresham, and now I'm feeling kind of the same way. You said we have to stop calling it gun violence because we don't call it car violence, that drunks are killing people in their cars. We don't call it knife violence when people stab each other. And I thought, exactly he's got a point.
Anytime anybody uses the term gun violence, they are now participating on the side of the gun ban lobby. This is a term that was created to get people used to thinking that violence equals guns, but the other way around, guns equal violence. Mm-hmm. And that is clearly not the case when 99.9% of the guns that we own are never used in crime. But it is a term that I completely and utterly reject. And we should all, every time it's used, call it out and say, stop doing that.
And that hit me upside the head this morning. I went, you know what? Tom's right. Because we don't call it that if it's another kind of weapon.
No.
If somebody punches their wife all the time, we don't call it fist violence. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you, take it a little bit further. If you look at the reports from England, they do talk about knife violence because they pretty much got rid of the guns. But guess what?
Yep.
Violence is still around because that's a human thing. And now they're trying to figure out, well, how do we get rid of knives?
Now,
and they really are working on that.
They are working on getting rid of knives.
That's
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
And for those who think that, the Kamala Harris of the world, they're thinking, well, it's just the AR-15s. Oh, don't be a fool. They want every single gun you have. And occasionally, in the quiet moments, they will actually say it out loud.
And I have somebody who actually relocated to California for a while and had to actually leave almost every gun they own here. Almost. They could there were pistols. I think there were a couple of guns they could bring. But almost every gun they own had to be left here in Louisiana because the guns this person owned were not legal in California.
Well, exactly right. Now, let's spin that back to your initial question, which is what's going to happen with the result of this election. And look, there are all these proposals and phony programs and platforms and all of that is utter nonsense. The one thing we know is true. And this is where I say, look, I don't care how Trump sounds. I don't care what he tweets. I don't care about anything else. What I do know is that we got 3 really good justices in the Supreme Court and hundreds of good judges on the bench. And for me, that is the beginning and the end of anything I think about with this election.
So if she were to be elected, would you anticipate executive orders on gun rules?
Oh, absolutely. So she keeps saying on day one, that's her big deal. On day one, I will of course, even though they get overturned, it means we have to spend millions of dollars going to court. And the other part of it is, look, if we get the right judges and the right justices, they will interpret the Supreme Court, the Second Amendment correctly. If we don't, they will be activists, and they will allow agencies like the ATF to ban guns without there ever being a single vote on it in Congress.
Now, the school in Georgia, this was a student who had made threats, as I believe, about a year ago. My question to you, Tom, would be, when we talk about gun violence, can't we do a better job of when we have these complaints about these kids? Let's intervene. Let's get them help. Let's find out what's triggering this child and do better on that end.
Well, no doubt. I mean, but it's a two-pronged thing. One is how do we prevent it? That's a large question, and certainly if someone is reported as having a problem, a couple of things. One is the authorities need to be a lot more proactive, but also the parents, if they're responsible at all, if you have a troubled child, you don't have your guns where they can get to them. I'm not advocating a law requiring that. I'm just looking for some responsibility out there. But that's the big, overall arching question. The question I have is, what can I individually do to make myself safer and the people around me safer? And I have decided that I will have a gun, I will get training, I will be responsible, and I will make the pledge that nobody around me is going to get hurt.
And go ahead, Mike.
Our freedoms are predicated on the Constitution of the United States. But if you have those in control, those in power who do not respect or believe in our Constitution, our freedoms are going to erode.
It's a great point. People say, well, we always have the Second Amendment, and I always say you do until you don't. Understand that for some of these folks, a lot of the politicians, they will just simply look at the Constitution and say it doesn't say what you think it says. And you go, what? And then they go through this gobbledygook and say, well, there's this militia part and there's the other part, and you're going, no. The Supreme Court has already said it's an individual right. They go, yeah, we understand that, but you don't really have a right to a gun. So, while we do have the Second Amendment and we do have the Constitution, for those who don't care about it or don't honor it, they will twist it and destroy it to meet their particular agenda.
So how's California getting away with doing what they've done?
Right.
Well, they're actually getting away with it a lot less these days because we're getting some really good court decisions on the basis of Donald Trump's judges. Believe it or not, we've gotten good decisions out of the Ninth Circuit, which I never thought I'd be able to say.
Interesting.
Tom Gresham, thank you for jumping on with us this morning, and we look forward to Gun Talk.
Sorry for the text about you available. I didn't mean to send it like that. That was rude.
You available? What are you wearing?
We'll talk about this on Sunday. I want everybody to call in. Let's chat.
You bet. 1 o'clock right here on KEEL.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What are you doing down there?
Sorry, I'm low.
Snoozing?
Apparently.
Wake up!
My gosh.
Ruben's over there screaming, waving, jumping up and down.
I look over at your face.
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we're interrupting Mike's nap to do a little radio show.
Sorry, this live show. A lot of people don't realize most radio that they hear, it's the DJs, A, aren't local, and B, it's recorded.
Ouch. Yeah, they record almost everything these days. And that's so they don't get the corporations sued, which you and I do all the time.
So what's their excuse for us?
I don't know. We have good lawyers, I guess. I don't know.
Because this is happening as you hear it. So.
Yes. Well,
except for the 7.
Yes.
Is it
7:15? I don't know what the delay is. They have a delay on because I do get them sued occasionally, and they got to be sure Ruben hits the button and cuts out whatever craziness I say.
I
haven't gotten them sued. That was a lie. So just FYI.
Right? Yeah. Not actually.
We got a lawyer's call, but that's all right.
Did I tell you the other night I turned on a NASCAR race? Did I?
You did.
Okay, I did.
I was a little bit surprised. You're
because
not normally a NASCAR guy.
No, I'm not. And I huge F1. I like IndyCar. I don't know. It's just F1. It's the pinnacle of automotive racing.
Oh, the technology. Yeah. It's way up there.
Oh, my gosh. If we could take some of that technology and just use it in everyday automobiles.
I know.
It'd be amazing. But so I thought, okay, there's some appeal to NASCAR.
Oh, huge.
But it's like me turning on soccer. I don't get it. I don't understand the rules. I don't know.
Throw something at him.
Football. Sorry.
It'd be like me saying swimming. Love to watch swimming.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Swimming is not a huge spectator sport. I understand that.
True.
I understand that.
Soccer's the biggest in the world, though.
I know.
There's no doubt.
And I'm not saying it's just, it seems like a long way to go to, that's a long row to hoe for one seed.
Yeah.
But we are watching the Beckham thing. But anyway, I turned on the NASCAR the other night. I don't know.
What made you do it?
I don't know. I saw it on YouTube TV, how they have your normal.
You were trying to beef up your redneck card, weren't you?
No. But Aaron, I don't know. I just don't understand. It's it was 4 lanes wide, 30 deep. It looked like a parking lot moving. Mm-hmm. And they're all just going left.
That's what
just
when you
in
talk
an
to
oval.
people who race in other genres.
I just don't get
and
it.
you talk NASCAR with them, they go fast, turn left, go fast, turn left, go fast, turn left. But you have to. I urge you today to watch a NASCAR road race because those are different. Those are not ovals. Those are tracks.
Okay.
And they do a little thing kind of like Formula One. And so look up whenever the next NASCAR road race is.
Road race.
And watch one of those because though it's still a NASCAR sanctioned event, it's still part of the schedule, but it's just not an oval. It's not a Talladega or a.
And then I saw NASCAR truck series.
Oh, there's too much. There's too much.
These aren't real trucks. They're plastic bodies on the
absolutely
frame. I don't know.
With weights somewhere where they're allowed to have weights on them to hold them down on them. Otherwise, they're going to be spinning and flipping and all kinds of stuff, which will happen with trucks. So, I don't know.
And I've got friends who are huge NASCAR fans.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I'm not trashing it. I'm just saying I don't get it.
Yeah. This morning we got a couple of big stories we're pursuing. One is the SWEPCO billing goof that is happening, and people are getting these major SWEPCO bills. We're going to have Michael Corbin joining us after 7, and then the attorney. This is a biggie. Yeah, attorney for the Caddo Parish School Board, Reg Abrams, is going to join us just past 8:00 this morning. We're going to talk about what some parents are claiming they might do is keeping their kids out of school if they don't get their way with the school board. So Reg will address that. Mr. Abrams, will address that and talk about the process they followed because he gave them all the advice on here's what you got to do with regard to the search. Right. So he was kind of leading the process with the school board. We'll have him on just past 8.
Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710keel.com.
Back to the big stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
By the way, did you watch the game last night? We're on.
No, I did not watch the game.
Hello?
I watched Taylor Swift. I didn't watch the game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already over that.
I didn't even turn it on.
I didn't watch the game. No.
I'm not a Swiftie, so,
I have the game on my recorder, but I didn't watch it yet.
Well, I would just be pulling for Kansas City to lose, which I used to like.
You don't like Kansas City?
No.
Why?
Patrick Mahomes has shown his true colors, as has Travis Kelce.
Okay.
And not jealous because good for him for dating Taylor Swift, you know, and I hope they're happy. And that's one of the things I liked about the Beckham documentary so far. They actually he and what's her name really seem to love each other.
Mm-hmm. They really do.
They're really in love.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So good for Travis, and I couldn't care less about that. I don't like Baltimore.
Did you just hear Mike Martindale say he hates Taylor Swift? Is that what he's saying here today?
yeah, that's what
Send
I said.
the email, Mike Martindale. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did not say that. I just said I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay.
I think it'd be kind of odd if I were.
That would be a little weird.
I mean, really,
yeah. How old are Swifties now? Are they
12?
Are they upwards
really?
Are they over
Girls?
30? Are there any over 30 Swifties? People are screaming
Assigned
at
at
the radio.
birth gender girls?
Mike!
I'm just playing by their rules.
Can we edit him out of the room?
Playing
Is
by
that
their
possible?
rules. I'm feeling cantankerous this morning.
No, I did not watch the game.
Yeah, I didn't
not.
either.
I'm kind of like you. NFL for me is not the be all end all like it used to be.
No, I'm telling you,
Saints.
I lived and bled black and gold.
Yeah,
and I will watch the Saints games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I really just don't care anymore.
And I'll actually watch the Cowboys games. I'm one of those. If you're listening, I'm one of those who likes both teams.
Right.
But the Saints are my favorite.
I'm not a Cowboys hater.
No, I'm not either.
For the most part.
I'm not either.
And I don't even pull for them to lose. Honestly, don't. There
are people listening who pull for them to lose, William Bradford. And they post weekly, why he hates the Cowboys messages. And he teases all his friends who are Cowboys lovers. And he's not a Cowboy lover. It is.
What I saw a weatherman said, our temperature is kind of like the Dallas Cowboys stuck in the 90s.
Whoa. And the picture of the Cowboys cheerleaders, like a current cheerleader with the last cheerleaders who won a Super Bowl.
Woman.
Yeah. Here's the last Cowboys cheerleaders who won a Super Bowl. Ew. That's mean.
My sister's a huge Cowboys fan.
Is she? So you gotta like them a little.
No, I like to tease her about it. But I really don't, because I've been a Saints fan long enough to know, hey, we've been through some hard times, and not that we're not about to go through some more.
And we play them in Dallas this year. So that's going to be a big deal.
Okay.
That's going to be a big deal. It's pretty quick.
See, I haven't even normally, I used to put the schedule in my phone so I know who we got coming up this week, when it is. And
I don't know when the date is, but we play in Texas, the Saints at the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how soon it is. Folks are screaming at the radio going, it's 2 weeks, whatever. I don't know.
I do have all the F1 races in my phone.
Do you really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
No race this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Coming up after 7, Michael Corbin with SWEPCO is going to join us and talk about what is going on with this billing goof up. And have you noticed it on your bill lately?
Did you get $1,000 deducted from your account automatically? Your checking account. Yeah.
Ow.
Hello. Mm-hmm. That's coming up. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
By the way, I did see where the Ray Forcier Memorial Rodeo is that this weekend in Benton?
I think it is, yeah.
Now, of course, today most people are like, "Oh, it's Ray Forcier."
Yeah, nobody has
unfortunately. But when I did mornings right behind you in that studio where Fletch is now, it was KWKH.
Yeah.
And Ray used to come in and do the ag reports live.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he'd come to
What's an ag report, Mike? Can you explain that, please?
futures and corn and
Cotton
soybean
prices,
and
yeah.
cotton and
Yeah.
pigs and it was
Oil?
Yeah,
He would do the oil prices and all that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
It's way before
But-
the internet.
Yeah. It was. Isn't that funny? I mean, we played actual vinyl too.
Yeah.
In that room that's now somebody's office.
I know.
Was the music library and thousands of albums.
I scream when I say, because some TV networks, some TV stations, I don't think they do it here anymore, but they scroll like local stock prices on the bottom of their screen, like the
right.
Swepco stock price. And I'm
Right.
like, anybody who cares about that has that automatically
Right.
sent to
They
them
know. Yeah.
when that price changes. You don't need to take up your screen space for it anymore.
Right.
It's crazy. Technology changes, but some old timers, they just keep doing what they've been doing.
And
At 6:45, it's 15 minutes until 7:00. That's what they just keep doing.
6:45. 50.
I don't get
I know what that means. But anyway, Ray Forcier and I, we used to. He used to hang out in the studio. You know, great guy.
I know.
And he was very involved in the state fair and all the ag stuff going on at the state fair, agriculture. You know, at the fair, and we lost Ray several years ago.
Yeah, he was a funny guy. So funny.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. I don't know what brought that up, but anyway, I was looking at the forecast. I'm hoping we're about finished with the 90s.
I think fall might be here. I think so. But we're going to go through
All 3 days that we get here.
big rains. They're talking about South Louisiana under big time flood problems for this weekend. So they're battening down the hatches.
Okay, because it's not here.
Not going to be here. Doesn't look
we're
like.
looking at mostly sunny, 84 tomorrow.
Yeah, the Gulf Coast area and up to about Alexandria, it doesn't look good, and they've got all kind of warnings out. So it goes all the way over to Lake Charles, I think, and then through New Orleans and across the Gulf.
Like some serious flooding.
Yeah, they're talking about some serious rains that are just going to be nonstop. So Jeff Maher with the Weather Channel is going to join us next hour as well. So talk to him.
Find out. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, this is you saw my fortune cookie that I got this week 2 days ago,
yes.
3 days ago.
Oh, that's right.
Your long-awaited dreams will come true, or something like that.
It even said financial. Did it say
Something like that.
Okay, yeah, you can
And
let me look.
look and see what it exactly says, because I go to Panda Express every now and then, very rare, but I go in.
Oh, I love your picture of Mike the Tiger.
Yeah, that popped up on my memories.
His little tongue sticking.
Yeah, but
your seemingly lofty dream will come true.
Yep. That was this week, like 2 days ago. And I don't go in there very often. I went in there and got some orange chicken, and that was my fortune.
your seemingly lofty dream will come true.
Well, if people were to ask y'all, what is McCarty's biggest lofty dream, you both would tell them
Powerball.
Winning a Powerball or a Mega Millions jackpot.
Right.
I've talked about this for years. Well, I get that in my Panda Express meal, my fortune, and so I know now that tonight's the night.
Now, it's tonight.
Tonight. It's 741.
Now, which one is it? I can't keep up.
Mega Millions.
Mega Millions. Okay.
741. The lump sum cash payout is 366, but you got to take taxes off of that. So take about $100 million off of that. So you're going to walk away
again
tax-free $266 million.
Out of a $740 million jack. Don't advertise it then as $740 million.
You can take $741 million. You can do that over 20 years.
Not in my lifetime.
Over 20 years. They'll pay it out to you over 20 years.
How much would that be?
They'll divide 740 by 20, and that's how much you'll get every year, less the taxes. You got to pay Uncle Sam.
But
then you don't drop it down to 366. You're going to get 741.
No, you're not.
Well, less taxes. Take a third away from. So you're going to get $500 million over 20 years. Uncle Sam's going to get about $250.
How many times are they going to tax that too? You know.
Well, they're going to tax the capital gains on it, so you're going to have to put it in something that's not that capital gains are saved from, like art or something like that.
Yeah. In other words, you can't use it.
You'd have to give a lot of it away. You'd have to put it in private trusts. You find a way. Rich people find a way. I'm just telling you. Then you're then a rich person, and you find a way to shelter it because trust me, they know how to shelter it. So, it's tonight. It's a big night. I'm excited about it. Big time.
Michael Corbin is going to join us coming up after the news, top of the hour. There was a few discrepancies in SWEPCO's auto draft feature that they've gotten worked back out, but it might have caused some people to have heart attacks.
Yeah.
It would have me. Mm-hmm. We'll talk to him after the news. 101.7 FM, 710keel.com. .107 FM, 710 Keel, Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. We'll get with Michael Corbin here in just a few minutes. We're going to speak with the Commissioner of Insurance, Tim Temple, joining us. Tim, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Well, we're doing very well. We're hoping to have some better news maybe this afternoon about insurance rates.
Well, look, we're about to kick off here in 2 hours for our next round of legislative hearings, trying to get down to what drives the cost of insurance in Louisiana.
I talked to somebody yesterday he and his wife, they've got a teenage boy in the home. His car rates now are $1,300 a month. How is that possibly affordable for any family in Louisiana? I just can't fathom how crazy it's gotten.
Well, look, that is certainly unaffordable, but I don't think that's indicative to the entire state, the way the premiums are. Everybody's got a story and everybody has circumstances behind what drives their rates. But I can tell you this, is that in Louisiana, we are paying the highest rates, which I think, no one disputes that. The hearings that are taking place, we've had two so far. 2 months ago, we had our first round of hearings. Last month, we had the second, and then today we're having, the hearings for September. We will be holding additional meetings in October and November. And I'm encouraged by the fact that these are taking place because we are going to drive down to where is the money going? When you're paying the highest premiums in the country for your auto, we need to know who's getting that money. Is it the insurance companies? Is it the defense attorneys? Is it the plaintiff attorneys? Is it the doctors? Is it the plaintiffs? We need to look at that, and we're going to through this process.
Tim, what do you suspect when we talk about Louisiana having the highest insurance rates? Some of the things that you just mentioned, the attorneys, the billboard attorneys, if you will, causing the rates to be so high. The number of uninsured motorists in Louisiana. How do you enforce that?
Well, look, I think, like I said, we've got to look and see where the money is going. Certainly, attorneys are responsible for bringing the litigation. You can't bring it without the attorney involved, but you can't have the accident to begin with without an actual physical accident taking place, but then we've got to look at the medical cost as well. I mean, for years and years, this battle has been pitted against business and trial attorneys, and nobody has won. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of people that have won, I guess, but the consumers have lost year after year after year. I'm encouraged that we are now peeling back the layers of the onion on this to say, where is the money going? And I was at a town hall last night, and one of the things that we were talking about is, look, once we're able to say and show who's getting what, if that's the way the system, the voters want this system to work going forward, then that's fine. Let's just acknowledge it and we'll move on. But if people aren't happy with where the money is going, what pocket it's going in, then we need to make some serious, substantial changes in our law, in our process to bring back true justice in Louisiana. Not a legal system, but a justice system.
Do folks that are in the know, that are working on this, do they understand that this family right here in Bossier City that's paying $1,300 a month, they're going to have to make a choice of leaving the state? That might be one of their options. We're going to run people off with these crazy high rates.
Well, I'm not going to do the math in my head, but that's somewhere north of $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
For one driver.
Well, it's a husband and wife, and they do have a teenage boy, I believe, in the home.
Gotcha. Well, again, everybody's circumstances are different. I don't know what kind of cars they're driving. I don't know what their driving record is.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you, though, that's not indicative of a husband, wife, and one-child driver. There's again, and that's what happens when everyone gives their own personal, stories and thoughts. There's not the full details. So
yeah, I know.
And you could have wrecks involved, or driving record affect your rates.
Right. But irrespective, correct. But irrespective, in Louisiana, people are paying the highest rates, and that's the issue we're trying to get down to. And like I said, we're going to have another round of hearings today, and I would encourage people to participate. I would encourage people to watch. You can go to legis.la.gov and watch these hearings. I've been asking people to write their newspapers, to call in to radio programs like yours, to do TV interviews, and let the greater public know exactly how this insurance crisis is impacting you as an individual and you as a business owner. Like you said, people are leaving this state because of insurance. Companies are relocating out of our state because of insurance.
Yeah.
We need to shout this from the mountaintops.
I will. I'm in the middle of a claim myself right now. I got hit by a driver a couple of weeks ago, and so far so good. But if it's a problem, I'm going to be calling you.
Well, look,
Tim, she will,
listen,
too.
If you have a problem, you should call the Department of Insurance. I mean, that's part of what we're there for. If people don't feel like they're treated fairly, then they do. You don't have to hire an attorney. You can call the department. You can file a claim, not a claim. You can file a complaint with the Department of Insurance, and we will investigate it.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to, the first thing doesn't have to be call an attorney.
Haven't done that yet. Knock on wood.
Tim Temple, Commissioner of Insurance, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it. We're headed in a battle today. Y'all be good.
Have fun.
Be productive.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Michael Corbin with SWEPCO joining us right after the break.
Breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. A very patient Michael Corbin with SWEPCO. I know it's external affairs, Michael. Grand Poobah, Vice. What is it? What's the official title? What is my?
I'm going to make a plaque and put it in the studio.
Please do. Vice President of External Affairs?
External Affairs Manager.
Thank you. Okay, External Affairs Manager. I'm trying to promote you, buddy.
What's going on
I appreciate that.
What's going on with the auto drafting bill goof up? Can you explain what's happening? We've gotten some calls, some emails that there's been a goof up. What's happening?
Well, we've received a few calls as well. In a nutshell, early in August, we discovered that customers who were on paperless billing, which means instead of their bill coming in the mail, they get it via email. Those bills were not sent out to their email. They were available to look online and in your account, but you did not get an email. That was quickly discovered. So what we did to remedy the situation was cancel that billing, reread the meters, and bill it again. So in effect, it added 5-6 days to everyone's billing cycle, 5 or 6 days of electrical usage.
That shouldn't have been added?
No. That was the fix. Is we went and reread all the meters to be sure everything was right.
Okay.
So some customers may see a few extra days in their billing cycle for the current bill. As we get into the next billing cycle, one of two things is going to happen, and I'm not positive which has been decided on. We'll either go back to the original, so you could see a shorter billing cycle and a less days usage, or we'll just adjust the billing cycles moving forward and keep the same 30-day cycle.
Mike, we also heard from people that said they had a really high amount automatically withdrawn from their account. Explain how that happened and what's been done to fix that.
Well, we don't think there had actually been banking transactions going on with this. We're coming off 2 very hot months, and hot months equal high utility bills. So I think there may be some confusion on customers' parts that they were billed incorrectly. But I looked at my bill this week, and these 100-degree days, the air conditioner's working hard, and the bills are a little bit higher this year.
When you say a little bit higher, 20%, 50%, 2%?
It really depends on the customer and what you do, how you set your thermostat, and what actions you're taking in your home. But when we have 2 months of 100-degree temperatures, you're going to have a higher bill than you might have in November, December.
If people got a bill that they think is too high or is way too high, what can they do? What are the remedies, that y'all can work out a payment plan, or if y'all can come read the meters again? What's the procedure?
Yeah. If there's confusion or
You still there? You just went? Did you go into the tunnel under the Red River? He's in the tunnel under the Red River.
Not a lot of people know about that tunnel under the Red River.
You're a secret SWEPCO Chief Cheese. You know about the tunnel. Is you still there, Michael?
We need to.
Okay, you went dark a minute because you were in the tunnel under the Red River. So what do people do if they have a problem with their bill?
Okay, call us at the call center, 888-216-3523. And our call agents are authorized to work with every customer as needed, enter into a payment agreement if a burden has been created, or talk through other options. If this is a good time to talk about average monthly billing. If you were on average monthly billing and you have a high bill for whatever reason, that takes the sting out of that because you know how to budget each month for your utility costs.
Michael, I got a question. And if you're not prepared, I didn't ask you about this beforehand, and that's completely fine. Just tell me, don't know yet. But if you put on your DDA hat, is there any new news you can share with us about the search for a new director for the Downtown Development Authority? And if not, I understand.
No, certainly. The process is moving along nicely. I believe that it is safe to say we have finalists for the position.
2 of them, I'm told. Is it 2?
We have 2 finalists. And right now, background checks, social media screens, that sort of thing are going on.
Any local contenders?
We have 2 finalists for the position that we're screening.
He's going to go back in the tunnel, watch.
Yeah. He's turning around to go back under the tunnel.
I'm calling Mayor Chandler to ask if I can come back into Bossier one more time.
Next week we should know something, we hope.
The next DDA meeting is scheduled for the 25th. I am hopeful, and we'll have confirmation later today, that we can have a special meeting on the 18th and move the process along. I don't think we would be making a public announcement on the 18th, because the next step will be after screenings, after the board approves the top candidate, then we have to negotiate an employment contract.
Gotcha.
Do these candidates know that they're the last 2 candidates?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, good to know. We'll be in touch with you about that, and be careful in that tunnel.
I will. Thanks, y'all. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Michael. You too. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Coming up, Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel going to be talking about we got some flooding coming to Louisiana. We'll talk with him. 101.7 FM, 710KEEL.com.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I'm so glad we don't have cameras on in this room. This is embarrassing.
Wait, what?
Well, Ruben can tell you. You haven't dealt with this one yet. I have literally come in here before with my shirt on inside out. Correct, Ruben?
Correct. Yes.
I have come in this room with a shirt on inside out that was buttoned down the wrong side. It buttoned from the end, and I didn't understand why it did that until I looked and realized it's inside out.
Yeah.
That's why it buttons wrong.
Yeah.
I buttoned it up like that and still wore it out. Today, I have a pink shirt on that has got blue dots now.
I can see him from over here.
Splatter on you.
Splatter on, like I got blood spatter, except it's blue.
It's blue,
It's like a Jackson
right?
Pollock painting.
Because
or she killed an avatar.
my district attorney self got my big jug of water, and I put my Mio drops in it, and I was just heading out the door, so I'd kind of turned all the lights out, and I had one little dim light on in the kitchen, and I was pushing my Mio drops into my bottle of water. Well, my Mio drops today are blue. Well, the drops hit the ice at the top of my big jug, and they splattered everywhere. Well, I didn't know until I get in here in the light.
And it looks like you've Dextered a Smurf.
It looks like I'm Dexter a Smurf. I want my kids to promise that when they bury me in a stained shirt.
Stained inside out
That's
shirt.
how everyone will recognize me.
On backwards.
Yes,
yeah.
on backwards. Stains all over it. Big spaghetti stain somewhere. This is embarrassing.
I told my wife, I said, at the visitation, just put me in a chair because I'll be slumped over and put the remote in my hand, fell asleep watching TV. Oh, yeah, that's it. He looks so natural. My wife could go, yep, yeah, he does.
Weekend at Mikey's, yeah. I'm embarrassed.
Well, we've got some massive flooding being projected for South Louisiana. Mm-hmm. We've got a nice weekend in store for us, quite frankly. But we're going to talk with Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel next. 1017 FM, 710keel.com.
Let's get back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Well, here in the Arklatex, our forecast doesn't look bad at all. Checking the Weather Channel website, I mean, tomorrow, we're not even in the 90s tomorrow and sunshine. But south of Ellick, it's not looking quite as promising. Jeff Marr with the Weather Channel on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, a big rainfall event continues to plague the coast. This is all due to a low-pressure system hugging the Texas coast with the front stalled out. So a lot of heavy rainfall with flood watches that extend all the way from Lake Charles through the New Orleans area and over towards portions of the Florida Panhandle.
How much rain are they anticipating getting in the southern part of Louisiana?
They could have another 2 to 3 inches of rain, and the ground's already saturated from the recent heavy rainfall. So with this front stalled out, they will be dealing with showers and thunderstorms not only today but through tonight. And then finally into the afternoon tomorrow, they'll become more scattered, but a pretty solid rain event for them, unfortunately, probably over the next 24 hours.
Now, there's a little bit of an event going on in Baton Rouge tomorrow evening, a little football game. Is the rain going to be gone by the time the Tigers kick off?
It is indeed. I think we'll have partly cloudy skies. We head towards kickoff there under the lights tomorrow night, and I think it'll be great. It'll be temperatures probably will eventually fall down to the 60s through that game. So very comfortable, should be fine by the time the game rolls around. But as far as the tailgating, of course, there they get that tailgating started early, so there are probably fully a lot of people already underway right now. So they'll be dealing with rain today.
I was going to say, Jeff, they're out there now. Yeah.
Well, and they're
I'm a Georgia fan, but I've made some road trips to Baton Rouge several times, so I know what it's like.
If you've been to
we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Jeff. We can't hear this. I'm a Georgia fan. Stop that.
And if you've been to a game in Tiger Stadium, you heard they say, chance of rain, never.
Yeah. Now, is any of this rain going to move up to Shreveport, Bossier, to northwest Louisiana? Are we going to see any of it?
Yeah, we'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, but not nearly as heavy as the amount that they'll have closer to the coast where that front is. But it has been a really soggy year. I mean, we picked up a little over a half inch yesterday, bringing our total so far to date a little over 56 inches, which is a surplus of 21.14 inches above average. That's just crazy how wet it's been.
Wow. Okay. Is summer?
But the rain here isn't expected to come here until about Wednesday, right?
Well, we'll have a few scattered showers and storms today and early in the evening, and then dry out. So if you're heading to a high school game tonight, I think most of that rain will be out there by kickoff time. But then we get to dry out, and it's going to be less humid behind the front Saturday and Sunday. Beautiful with low 80s and sunshine. But, yeah, you're right. That next chance of rain as we head towards the middle portion of the upcoming week. Temperatures rebound Monday and Tuesday into the upper 80s, but as the clouds and rain move in next Wednesday, we'll start to cool back down with a high in the low 80s. So a little bit warmer starting off the week, and then we'll cool right back down.
I like that. I like that less humidity.
I was going to ask you, is summer done?
I don't think it's done, but we got a little reprieve certainly in the over the next few days. The average high is 92. We'll be running about 10 degrees below that over the next few days as far as our afternoon highs.
Do we typically see 90s in September very much?
Yeah, we still can see some 90s. Now that all that heat that's been out west will start to move off to the east eventually, and areas of way up to the north, up towards the Ohio Valley, they'll actually be dealing with some 90s coming up. We won't have those, fortunately. We'll get into the upper 80s before another front comes in. But, yeah, that heat's going to start to migrate eastward. We're not done. I think we'll have some more 90s as we head towards the middle and latter portion of the month. So we're not out of the woods yet as far as some 90s.
Okay, as we get into the cooler weather, what about our first frost? And are you anticipating any snow this winter?
Yeah, we're due for some. I don't know. The first frost, not until we get into probably portions of October, but later in October. But, yeah, we're going to, as far as snowfall, we'll see. We'll see. We're going to be in La Nina pattern, so we'll see if we get any snowfall here as we head towards, usually that would be probably towards early portion of next year.
Was the rain that hit here in Shreveport in North Louisiana? I was leaving lunch yesterday with a friend of mine, and he goes, I checked my weather app this morning, and it didn't mention anything about rain as we're dodging to our cars in the pouring rain. What was the rain that we got starting yesterday, was that unexpected? Did it just come out of nowhere, if you will?
I don't. I think there was in the forecast probably some scattered thunderstorms. It only takes one of those, though. When you're under one, obviously, to affect you. But a lot of moisture is overriding the stationary front that's draped along the Gulf. So when you combine that, moisture overriding that front, we've got showers and thunderstorms to continue. That's why we picked up a little over half an inch of rain yesterday.
He does have that Big Lots weather app. He didn't have the Weather Channel. So
Jeff Marr with the Weather Channel. What about the tropics? What are you watching for in the next few weeks? Because we could see something brewing, huh?
Yeah, we've got a couple areas we're watching. One is that area of low pressure right along the upper Texas coast, but only a 10% chance for development over the next 24 hours there. So not much to, I don't think, to be worried about, although they'll have some more heavy rain. But area near the Yucatan Peninsula, not much of a chance over the next 24 hours, but over the next week, about a 20% chance. Out in the Atlantic, we're watching a couple of waves, nothing that would be a threat to us anytime soon. But we've after starting off with a lot of activity, we've had a lull, and of course we're expected to have an above-average season. But the water temperatures across the southern Atlantic have been cooler than the waters that we started off the season. Some really above-average temperatures in the Gulf and the western Atlantic. But in the southern Atlantic, they've been cooler than average, and the thought process is that's kind of kept a little bit of a lid on it here recently over the last few weeks.
Let me ask you one silly question before we let you go. Does Georgia still bring UGA to their football games?
Yes, UGA usually. Well, I think he's always at home games. He's got a little doghouse there, and they put a bag of ice down, and he lays on top of the bag of ice.
Bag of ice? Interesting. Who knew? Because they're talking about maybe bringing Mike the Tiger back to our games, but PETA says no. So I was wondering if
so do veterinarians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I do have to say, obviously I'm an SEC fan. My favorite place to tailgate, without a doubt, I've always tell everyone, is Baton Rouge because of the fans. We don't play each other enough to really have that animosity towards each other, but the fans, I've never gone hungry at a tailgate down there or thirsty, so I appreciate that.
Jeff, thanks.
Jeff Marr with the Weather Channel. Make it a great weekend, Jeff. Thank you. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Reg Abrams, Caddo Parish School Board attorney, is joining us after the news, top of the hour. Mike and McCarty.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I did want to ask Jeff, how old was he before he actually learned how to spell his name? Jeff Marr. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Jeff Marr.
Yeah.
What would you write down?
Well, I emailed him at JEFFMARR.
Okay. Yeah, you got them both wrong.
I know.
GEOFF. MAURER.
Yeah, and I called because, Richard is our normal guy, and so I was looking for Jeff, and I called, and they have an automated system where you dial the letters of the last name.
Right.
And so I dialed, MARR. Nobody by that name. I'm like, yeah, there is. I know there's a Jeff. JEFF. Nobody by that name. Who thought to type GEOFF? But a lot of Jeffs spell it like that. So I don't know.
I had whenever I go to the pharmacy or whatever, and they go, last name, I say Martindale. Click. I don't find anything for you, Mr. Dale.
Martindale. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
You asked me my last name. I told you. Martindale. All one word.
Oh, here you are. Here you are. We got you now. Oh, yeah, that happens occasionally.
Yeah.
You do have a name that sounds like Martindale is two names.
Right.
Yeah. Are you related to Wink, by the way? People ask me that all the time. You're going to have to answer that again.
He's still alive, by the way.
Is he really?
I looked him up recently because several years ago I came across his website. I don't even know how, because I wasn't going, look up Wink Martindale.
Trolling old Uncle Wink.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I sent him an email. I said, hey, my name is Mike Martindale, and I get asked all the time,
Yeah.
you know, you're related to Wink, and Aaron, he wrote me back.
I'll be darned.
He said, you know what? He goes, I hear from people frequently in the industry
Yeah.
that have our name.
That's
You know, he was
interesting.
very nice.
That's cool. What game show did he host?
Gambit, wasn't that the big one? I don't know. He's hosted several over the years.
I forget. There's another
The
one.
classic game show host.
Yeah, he absolutely was. No
just
doubt
a
about
classic. But no, to answer your question,
No relation.
No,
Okay.
Not that I know of. No
All right.
relation.
So you're not in his will that you know about.
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
Probably not.
And I did, Reuben, I read with, oh my gosh, oh brother, where art thou? Delmar. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I know who you're talking. I've met him as well.
And he said, are you related to Margot Martindale?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was directing Leaves of Grass.
Yeah, I was in Leaves of Grass.
Right. Yeah, that's why I thought of you. What's his name? Oh, my gosh.
My brain.
Senior moments for both
Yeah,
of you.
that's terrible.
Where's my Nariva? Damn it, man.
You forgot where you left it.
Anyway, he said, are you related to Margot Martindale? And
Not
I went,
her
oh, Aunt Margot. Yeah. Uh-huh. Will it give me the part?
No, you're not. You're not related to her either.
Reg Abrams, Caddo Parish School Board attorney, coming up after the news. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. .101.7 FM 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Caddo Parish School Board attorney Reg Abrams joining us. Reg, good morning. Thanks for taking time to talk with us this morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
We're doing very well. Kind of a touchy subject going on right now. The Caddo Parish School Board has decided to interview one candidate as an attorney, as their representative. Has everything been followed according to law, and everything has been above board and going as planned?
Yes.
No deviation from what the process was laid out to be and how you advised them.
The policy in and of itself, the board decided that it was going to have the consultants come in. The consultants then had the board decide the members themselves determine the persons that they would like to interview. Ultimately, one person ended up with a higher number of score, and then there was actually a one person, Mr. Burton, ended up with a much higher score than the others, and it was within the option of the board as to whether or not how many they wanted to interview. The board never made a decision that it was going to interview 1, 2, or 3. It was basically left up to the board, and a motion was made to only interview one person, which motion carried by 7-5.
And that vote was completely legal. That motion was completely legal. There was no inappropriateness with that.
The motion was legal.
Okay.
I do not know of anything that was inappropriate about them making the motion whatsoever.
Now, big crowd showed up this week, urging the board to interview other candidates. Some have even claimed, now they're backpedaling now, but some had even claimed they may hold their children out of school unless the board decides to change the process. What do you say as the lawyer about parents that would hold their kids out of school as a protest option?
That would violate state law and school board policy.
So could they face legal action themselves, as in police taking them to jail?
Well, no, not necessarily because of that. The issue would be determined based upon whether or not they cause their child to be truant somewhere down the road. But the actual holding them out, the main rules are that you have to have specific absences that can be excused, and those ones would fall under Title 17:226, and that one gives you exemptions from compulsory attendance. And the majority of those deal with whether or not you're mentally, physically, or emotionally incapacitated to perform school duties. So you have to have a doctor come in and authorize that as to whether or not your child is able to be away from school. Now, there are other exceptions that are allowed, and that is when you have a serious illness in your family, which also would require that you provide documentation to prove that. But the statute is very specific as to what can occur. But you have to realize being truant is something that, it takes several days in order for that to occur. Students can have absences, but those absences would be unexcused. But it is, once you get to becoming truant, that's when the problem comes in as to the school system in and of itself deciding that it was going to go in and bring charges to show that the child was actually truant. And if someone decides that they are going to start holding their child at school and out of school and make certain that they are not being educated, that's a different issue. That is one, you're supposed to make certain that your child goes to school. And I do not know what the DA was do or anything as far as deciding whether or not someone was deliberately not allowing their child to become educated, because there is a fundamental right to go to school and also a fundamental right that this child also that the child also receive education and that they attend school. Most of the penalties, though, are civil penalties when it comes down to truancy.
Could we're talking to Reg Abrams, the attorney for the Caddo School Board. This is not your first rodeo, by the way. You've been the board attorney since you were 2, I think. But not quite, huh?
Not quite.
I can withdraw my child from school and put them in a private school, homeschool them. That would be legal, correct?
Yes.
Can you do it in the middle of the school year? I could start it tomorrow, Monday morning. I could say my child is now homeschooled and then face no charges.
Yes, but you definitely have to make certain that you go to the school and make sure all of their records are transferred and all of that, and make sure that is done appropriately. Now, homeschooling, I'm not exactly sure how you go through the process in order to make that happen. Now, our attendance office would know that, but yes, that is something that can be done.
What about the folks that are protesting? What is your message to them? There's a better way to do that rather than to withhold your child from school, right?
Well, I'm the attorney for the school system, and their decision as to whether they're going to protest or not, that's their decision. I don't give them opinions as to what's a better method of doing something, as far as that's concerned. I certainly would hope that they would have their children come to school so they could be educated. Any day they're missing school, they're actually getting behind, and education is most important. So personally, my opinion would be that the students should come to school and that the parents, express the way they feel, but don't allow their students to not be in school in the classroom being educated.
But if somebody decides to homeschool, I mean, that's a pretty in-depth process, and there is a set curriculum they still need to follow. So they would need to prepare and make sure they have all the materials.
That's correct, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get that, I'm sure, but I know now things are done electronically. But that is certainly an option that parents have, but recognize also that if the parents, in order that it be promoted, there are rules also that when you get ready to go back into school, I believe they have to have testing in different ways of making certain that they are now up to level in order to move on, like the middle school or high school at different levels since they've been homeschooled.
Reg Abrams, school board attorney, has there been any discussion since the past meeting about having a special meeting and possibly expanding the interviews? Has there been some talk about that? Have any board members asked you about possibly doing that?
the issues that I heard were those that were stated in open session when there was some discussion going around during that particular meeting, but I have not heard anything about having any type of meeting like that as far as having a special meeting in order to open the process, anything like that.
Reg Abrams, Caddo Parish School Board Attorney, can you hold with us through the break?
How long would that be?
Just a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks.
We'll be right back. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back to the big stories of the day with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Caddo Parish School Board Attorney Reg Abrams on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. Reg, thank you so much for holding on with us. We know there were 6 candidates that were put forth by the company that was hired to screen all the candidates. We're down to 1. Could the school board, could they say, okay, we're going to add some more candidates? Is that a possibility at this point?
Well, it's up to the board to decide what it wants to do. Mm-hmm. I have the board can do whatever it would like to do as far as deciding until it makes the ultimate decision as to what they who they want to hire or whatever. So that's up to the board. The
interview of Keith Burton is the 11th. It's going to be out in the open. This is a little bit different from the way they've handled it before, I believe. You have kind of given them a roadmap of questions you can and can't ask because this is an HR deal, right?
Pardon?
This is an HR deal. There are some things you can't ask a job applicant these days, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Have you given
this meeting also, from what I understand, it will probably end up being an executive session like it always has been.
They've changed it then.
Well, basically what it amounts to is that there could be a motion for it to be one that would be in the executive session. So, and yes, initially it was a long time ago, there was discussion about whether it would be open or not. And basically I initially said that the law had changed on that issue. And I did review what I thought had changed, but the law does not prohibit you from having that type of meeting within the executive session.
So folks may not get to see the interview with Keith Burton then?
Correct. If the board decides to go into an executive session, it would not be. It would be just like any other interview, anywhere you have an interview.
So that would be a change from what we've been hearing over the past few weeks. That would be a deviation, correct?
Yes, it would be.
And it would be completely legal based on your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
So the public wouldn't be able to, even if it weren't an executive session, the public wouldn't be able to ask Keith Burton questions during the interview anyway, would they?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
What are some things, and I know you've helped guide them, what are some things that are off limits that we're not going to be able to ask Keith Burton?
Basically, there are questions that deal with race and, gender, the things that are off limits, you cannot ask those particular questions, but basically the questions are going to be about performance and what he can and cannot do. But those are the main type questions that you would have to have in order for it to be appropriate.
So you couldn't ask him Saints, Cowboys?
No. Yeah, probably not.
Reg, once they do the interview with Keith, at that point, is it too late to do interviews with any others that have made the finalist list?
I don't know whether it would be or not. I don't think it would be as far as that's concerned. I don't know whether that is even doable, for any other person that was an applicant.
But if they were to add other interviews, they'd have to vote on that in a meeting, give notice of that meeting. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay.
So the bottom line is at this point, Reg Abrams with the Caddo Parish School Board, as of today, this Friday, everything has been legal. People may not like the decision, but the decision was made through the process, and it was above board and done correctly.
It was done exactly the way It was planned to be done. It was in an open session, and the board basically followed the process. They could have picked 2 candidates or 3 candidates or all candidates, but there was a motion that was by a majority of those present and voting that basically voted to only interview 1 candidate, which is the prerogative of the board, which is a legal motion.
Let me ask you a silly question, Reg, before we let you go. I know you got a lot of work to do. Could Keith Burton himself say, I don't want my interview open to the public. I don't want this open to the public. I want this in a closed session. Can't he opt for that?
No. Basically what it amounts to, Mr. Burton can say, the board can decide it's going to be interviewed in a closed session. He has an option to say, I want it to be in an open session. You see what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the way the rule reads. It basically, the board could go in and say, I'm going to have it. You give notice that you're going to have a meeting and that meeting has potential of going into an executive session. And the person who you're going to talk with has the option of saying they want it to be an open.
Okay. So even if they vote to close it, Keith could stand there at the microphone and say, I would rather y'all keep this open.
Yes.
Do they have to do that then?
Well, I've never seen that necessary. I think the answer is yes, but I'll have to look at that. It's been a while. I haven't had that happen in a while.
Okay,
well,
gotcha.
They do it sometimes. That has occurred during when we have a hearing that is one that's in like dealing with when you get ready to dismiss someone, a tenure type hearing. They can request that, and that yes, so it can be done, and they can force it to be an open session. So I'd say yes.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We know you're busy and got to get back to it, but thanks for clearing a lot of this up for us.
All righty.
Thank you so much.
Reggie Adams, Kettle Perry School Board Attorney, Mike and McCarty, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back with more of Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
I told you, I don't know, it's got to be 30 years ago. We actually... The wife and I piled into the car and drove to Longview.
Okay.
To go eat at Red Lobster.
Wow.
Well, my wife loves lobster. Okay?
Yeah.
And there wasn't one here, and that was a big deal 30 years ago.
Right.
You know.
I know.
I can't believe we drove an hour to eat at Red. It sounds funny now.
Are you saying that because of what I told you this morning?
Probably funny then.
I'm thinking about driving to Texarkana to eat at Grandy's.
No, but that's different.
Yeah.
That's
the rolls are great.
You're meeting family. So.
Yes, I'm meeting someone there, and the rolls are delicious, and I'll enjoy it.
I do miss that Grandy's. There used to be one right across the street on Pines Road right here.
Those fluffy rolls are incredible. Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, I bring this up because, Red Lobster, they ended up going into bankruptcy. I think the one in Bossier closed. Didn't it close?
I think it is closed, yeah.
I can't confirm.
Right, I can't either. I hadn't been there.
For some reason, I'm thinking the one in Bossier has closed. Mm-hmm. But they've got a new CEO that says, we're making some changes.
Going to bring it back.
Going to bring it, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. They're coming out of bankruptcy. Aaron, this CEO, 35 years old.
That funny? Funny?
And now, that sounds like a baby to me.
It does.
35 years old. He came from P.F. Chang's. Okay. Kind of turned them around. Mm-hmm. And so he says, yep, we're making some changes. Going to, obviously with the interiors, but also food quality.
Wow.
So there may be a new Red Lobster.
Interesting.
I would be fine with that. Yeah. Did you ever?
I wasn't a big fan. I love lobster, and to me, it wasn't really lobster.
Well, no, I understand, but actually it was the seafood more. And you talk about the rolls at Grandy's, you got to talk about those Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Those
at Red
Cheddar Bay,
Lobster.
yeah, those were good. They were absolutely
Shut
good.
up, slap your mama.
I did like the days when they had that, what was it, the endless shrimp? You could just eat all
Yeah, he said no more $20 endless shrimp.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, we got to make some changes.
Yeah, I bet they do. I bet they do.
So that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be interesting.
Hope it comes back.
And if the one in Bossier's still open, somebody let us know on the Shreveport Security Systems message board.
Hope we didn't close them prematurely.
Yeah,
I hope they're
making some changes.
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
Louisiana Commissioner of Insurance Tim Temple spoke with us earlier this morning about Louisiana's highest in the nation rates. What are they going to do to bring them down? Session today. That's next. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Back to the show with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Mike and McCarty on the Jack Spring Electric Newsmaker Hotline. We'll get with Michael Corbin here in just a few minutes. We're going to speak with the Commissioner of Insurance, Tim Temple, joining us. Tim, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Well, we're doing very well. We're hoping to have some better news maybe this afternoon about insurance rates.
Well, look, we're about to kick off here in 2 hours for our next round of legislative hearings, trying to get down to what drives the cost of insurance in Louisiana.
I talked to somebody yesterday he and his wife, they've got a teenage boy in the home. His car rates now are $1,300 a month. How is that possibly affordable for any family in Louisiana? I just can't fathom how crazy it's gotten.
Well, look, that is certainly unaffordable, but I don't think that's indicative to the entire state. You know, the way the premiums are. You know, everybody's got a story, and everybody has circumstances behind what drives their rates. But I can tell you this: is that in Louisiana, we are paying the highest rates, which I think no one disputes that. The hearings that are taking place, we've had two so far. 2 months ago, we had our first round of hearings. Last month, we had the second, and then today we're having, the hearings for September. We will be holding additional meetings in October and November. And I'm encouraged by the fact that these are taking place, because we are going to drive down to where is the money going. When you're paying the highest premiums in the country for your auto, we need to know who's getting that money. Is it the insurance companies? Is it the defense attorneys? Is it the plaintiff attorneys? Is it the doctors? Is it the plaintiffs? We need to look at that, and we're going to through this process.
Tim, what do you suspect when we talk about Louisiana having the highest insurance rates? Some of the things that you just mentioned, the attorneys, the billboard attorneys, if you will, causing the rates to be so high. The number of uninsured motorists in Louisiana. How do you enforce that?
Well, look, I think, like I said, we've got to look and see where the money is going. Certainly, attorneys are responsible for bringing the litigation. You can't bring it without the attorney involved, but you can't have the accident to begin with without an actual physical accident taking place, but then we've got to look at the medical cost as well. I mean, for years and years, this battle has been pitted against business and trial attorneys, and nobody has won. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of people that have won, I guess, but the consumers have lost year after year after year. I'm encouraged that we are now peeling back the layers of the onion on this to say, where is the money going? And I was at a town hall last night, and one of the things that we were talking about is, look, once we're able to say and show who's getting what, if that's the way the system, the voters want this system to work going forward, then that's fine. Let's just acknowledge it and we'll move on. But if people aren't happy with where the money is going, what pocket it's going in, then we need to make some serious, substantial changes in our law, in our process, to bring back true justice in Louisiana, not a legal system, but a justice system.
Do folks that are in the know, that are working on this, do they understand that this family right here in Bossier City that's paying $1,300 a month, they're going to have to make a choice of leaving the state? That might be one of their options. We're going to run people off with these crazy high rates.
Well, I'm not going to do the math in my head, but that's somewhere north of $15,000 a year.
Yeah.
For one driver.
Well, it's a husband and wife, and they do have a teenage boy, I believe, in the home.
Gotcha. Well, again, everybody's circumstances are different. I don't know what kind of cars they're driving. I don't know what their driving record is.
Right.
I mean, I can tell you, though, that's not indicative of a husband, wife, and one-child driver. There's again, and that's what happens when everyone gives their own personal stories and thoughts. There's not the full details. So
yeah, I know.
And you could have wrecks involved, or driving record affect your rates.
Right. But irrespective, correct. But irrespective, in Louisiana, people are paying the highest rates, and that's the issue we're trying to get down to. And like I said, we're going to have another round of hearings today, and I would encourage people to participate. I would encourage people to watch. You can go to legis.la.gov and watch these hearings. I've been asking people to write their newspapers, to call in to radio programs like yours, to do TV interviews, and let the greater public know exactly how this insurance crisis is impacting you as an individual and you as a business owner. Like you said, people are leaving this state because of insurance. Companies are relocating out of our state because of insurance.
Yeah.
We need to shout this from the mountaintops.
I will. I'm in the middle of a claim myself right now. I got hit by a driver a couple of weeks ago, and so far so good. But if it's a problem, I'm going to be calling you.
Well, look,
Tim, she will,
listen,
too.
If you have a problem, you should call the Department of Insurance. I mean, that's part of what we're there for. If people don't feel like they're treated fairly, then they do. You don't have to hire an attorney. You can call the department. You can file a claim, not a claim. You can file a complaint with the Department of Insurance, and we will investigate it.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to, the first thing doesn't have to be call an attorney.
Haven't done that yet. Knock on wood.
Tim Temple, Commissioner of Insurance, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it. We're headed in a battle today. Y'all be good.
Have fun.
Be productive.
Bye-bye. Bye. Yes, sir.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Now more breaking news and trending talk with Mike and McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
You gotta fix something for me. Please, I need help.
Well, if you need me to fix something.
I need doggy advice. Okay? I have a nice, beautiful crate for Bo.
Okay.
And he likes to sleep in the crate at night. He sleeps in the crate. If I don't let him in the bedroom with me, he sleeps in the crate. And his crate blankies.
You shut the door on the crate?
No. He can come and go.
Okay.
Yeah. He can come and wander around if he wants, and I don't mind. He's pretty good. He's really well behaved. And his blankies and stuff inside the crate were getting a little bit scungy. Is that a word?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I don't know
anyways.
if it's a word, but yeah, but I know exactly. I was going to say that.
So,
you communicated a meaning.
I decided I'm going to de-scunge his crate. So I got all those, the blankies out, and I got them in a box, and I'm going to take it out to the trash next week. But then I ordered him this beautiful orthopedic dog bed that I measured just right, fits the crate perfect from side to side. It's a big crate. He's got a big area. And I put it in there, and it's got this nice fluffy top on it, and it's about 6 to 8 inches thick.
Memory foam, probably.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's gorgeous. I wanted it. And he won't go in the damn crate anymore.
He misses his scungy blankets.
Interesting.
He likes the scunge. Do I throw one of the scungy blankets back in there with him?
Probably. That might not be a bad idea.
But they smell.
But it's his smell. and it's something he's familiar and comfortable with.
What if I crawl in there with him?
Is the crate that big?
It's pretty big. Well, I might have to call.
Huge.
I might have to call 911 to get me out. But can you imagine Clarence Reese bringing the jaws of life to get me out of a dog crate?
Yeah.
Boy, that'd be a story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Clarence, be on standby this weekend, please.
I'm telling you, he's videoing it. I promise you that.
I promise you.
Man. Oh, man.
But what do I got to do to make him get in that crate and enjoy this new?
Like you just mentioned, that's a good idea. Put something familiar that he's
maybe
even toys.
Just one of the scungy blankets, or maybe a toy. Yeah,
or one of your like that Smurf bloodstained T-shirt that you have on. Don't wash it. Put that in there.
Put one of my T-shirts in there.
Yeah,
and he'll go in there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, what about a T-bone steak in there? And he'll go in there for that, won't he?
I was also about to say, peanut butter's a big motivator for dogs, and steaks and meaty treats of sorts.
So make my brand new expensive orthopedic cushion, make it scungy.
Yeah, with old dirty meat juice and stuff.
Dirty meat juice and crunch.
There's nothing funnier than watching a basset hound trying to clean his nose of peanut butter.
It's frustrating to know I ordered this beautiful cushion, this beautiful doggy bed, and he's looking at it like, oh, hell no.
Right?
I ain't getting in there. And so he's getting up on my leather couch.
Dogs are weird.
They are weird. But anyway.
Dogs are the best.
Message me on the Shreveport Security Systems message board if you got any doggy suggestions to make Bo go in. I could drag him in there and force him in there and lock him in there. I could do that.
Oh, sure.
Then he'd never go in again.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, put something familiar in there that he's comfortable laying with.
Okay. And I'm going to put his treat in there, because his treats are those little bacon. They're dry. Put his treat in there. He'll go in there for the treat.
Sure.
That might work. Well, okay, Ruben.
I was going to say something and I changed my mind. Sorry if it looked like I was about to say something.
You're waiting for the Jaws of Life video. I know what you're waiting for.
I want to see you climb in this crate. Seriously. I want to see this.
The amount of money I would pay for that video.
That ain't happening.
Make it a great weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Mike and McCarty.